Ladies, that was a hell of a battle, an amazing show. Some surprises. I want to get your guys' impression leading into the competition. Maybe I'll start with you, Alba. How did you feel coming in?
I felt really good. I've had basically like my best prep that I've ever had. So I definitely felt good. I felt like it would go very well, at least. But yeah, you never know. So I was super nervous, especially after Sheffield. I was like, I need to learn how to compete again, in a sense. So yeah, I was super scared and nervous, but I also had a good gut feeling. And definitely like I had the prep and the confidence from the prep behind me. It was just about like, can I do it on the competition day?
What was your expectations coming in?
Like I obviously was expecting to hit some PRs and win, but you can always expect things, but that doesn't mean that it's gonna happen. But I mean, it was both of us goals. Like, and no one else. I don't think any of me, Meg, or Shiara went in like, oh, I'm expecting to come second. We all expected to do our best, and then it just comes down to the meet day, pretty much. But yeah, it went kind of like I expected, but also in a sense better than I expected. At the same time, worse than I expected. So it was like it was a bit of a roller coaster emotionally.
I remember last year you were still a junior, and Joey, your coach, said he wanted you to do open worlds so you gained experience.
Yeah.
Felt what it felt like, got some nerves out, and when you come back the following year, it wouldn't be entirely new to you. It was, you get better and better and more mature as an athlete. Do you think that assisted you?
100%. Because one thing was like, going against these people, and actually because that was the first time that I got comfortable being in a battle, because it's something that I really thought about yesterday that like dawned on me. And one of the things that I'm most happy about this competition is I've honestly always seen my competitors almost a little bit like enemies, because I've been like, a bit of threat. It's felt like a threat almost, like, because obviously we have the same goal, and if they succeed, that probably doesn't mean that I succeed. But that switched for me. Like, first that competition I got comfortable having competition, and now to this one I've actually gotten to the point that I can be happy for my competitors. So, and that's why like I went out just when Shara, I didn't know like if she was gonna pull it or not, the last deadlift, but I decided like just before, okay, no matter what, I'm gonna go in there and hug her, because I feel like we know what we give into this. All of us do, and we give so much into the sport. We love it, and I feel like that's something we can relate to. And now I honestly feel like all of my competitors are like my friends in a sense, and that's something that made me feel so like a warm feeling, and it makes it just, I feel like that's made me a better lifter. Like, I'm able to perform better because I no longer feel like anyone is my threat. I feel like everyone is pushing me to become better, in a good sense, and I needed Worlds for that. I needed Junior Worlds. I needed the failure at Sheffield for that to get to this point. And that was like the biggest thing. And that's like what I'm most happy about, rather than just to win. The fact that it was just a warm feeling where I felt like me, Meg, and Shiara, and obviously, my team that I had, it was just like such a close and warm feeling. And like that was like the best thing.
Isn't it interesting how some athletes take the approach like you're talking about, and others like you used to, like Penna openly says, like, I need some kind of adversary that I'm going against. Some a bad guy on the other side that I have to face. This is probably some of that anime shit that you're talking about.
100%. But that's like why I'm also like in that anime shit. It's like you can also see them as rivals, but as a good thing, like a good rival, because also in anime, since I love it, you always have every like character, like the top characters, they have like this rival that is the biggest rival, but is also their best friend as well. So, you can have that as an enemy, but I'm a very emotional person. And if I have negative feelings and like, okay, this is an enemy and I feel threat, I'm not going to do well. And it's just coming to the point of getting to know who am Alba. Okay, because I was watching, there's a documentary about Tom Brady, for example, and also about, for example, Michael Jordan. And Tom Brady, I think, is like the GOAT quarterback in NFL. And then obviously like Michael Jordan, we all know who Michael Jordan is, but they're completely opposites. And like Michael Jordan's like, this is my enemy. And then Tom Brady's like, everyone is my friend. Like, so like everyone is amazing and like super kind. Like, so I think you just have to get to know who you are. And for me, I kind of just found what what allows Alba to do her best and enjoy powerlifting the most.
Yeah, like an interesting story. I love that you use those two athletes, both of them like the greatest of their time at the very least, and both highly successful. Both of them used entirely different ways of motivating themselves. So there's no right and wrong. First off, and talking about Jordan, there was an incident where he was playing another team and a rival player at the end of a match. The other team won, and they're all shaking hands at the end of the game like they normally do. The other team won, so Jordan and the Bulls lost. And as they're shaking hands, everyone's saying, good game, good game, good game. And he's saying, as they went by, Jordan shook that guy's hand. And I might get the story slightly wrong, but either way, Jordan said, the guy didn't say good game. Either he didn't say good game or he said something like offensive, like better luck next time or something like that to Jordan. So Jordan is like, excuse me, in his head, blew this up like you're going to style on me. You beat me. You think that's how it's going to end? The next game of the series, Jordan posts up like 60 points. The Bulls destroy the other team. And Jordan told everybody leading into the next game, I'm going to punish him. You guys didn't hear, but when we were all lined up saying good game, he said something like better luck next time, whatever. So I showed that guy. I'm going to show that guy. Then Jordan does what he does. And afterwards, he's like, that's what you get. All the reporters ran to that guy after the game. And they're like, my God, why would you instigate something with Jordan? This is the motivation he needs. Everyone knows that. And the guy goes, I didn't fucking say that. Jordan made that up. He made it up because he needed an enemy. He totally made up the entire situation. He goes, I don't even know if I shook his hand. I don't know if I saw him. The whole thing was made up. Jordan just needed an enemy, and he rose to the occasion. So everybody's a little bit different. How do you play it yourself, Chiara? Are you kind of neutral? Do you need enemies? How do you feel?
I think that on the platform we are all enemies, but I appreciate Alba and also Meg as athletes, and I admire them. Because they are stronger than me, so I have to improve myself to reach her total, and so to have enemies push each other to improve us.
Yeah,
I think like that.
When you're in training, how do you view your opposition that you're going to be facing while training, or do you think about them?
I think about them in my training always.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, because it's my goal to win. I was there to win yesterday, and I did everything to do that. Squat didn't go as I planned, but I was very calm after that because I knew that with my bench and deadlift I could also win if Alba mistake something. So, yes, I always think about my opponents, yes.
Yeah, Russell Lurie talks about, like, it keeps him sharp. Like, for instance, everyone saw when he lost at Worlds last year, and then all of a sudden he's like, it's going to be different when you see me at Sheffield. And then he comes back and wins the battle of the 83s at Sheffield. But going into Worlds, he didn't have like an opponent that he was thinking about constantly. He knew there was Jerns and these other guys there, but it wasn't on his mind. So you're just training to train. It's one thing to train. It's a whole nother thing when you're training knowing that Chiara's going to be there, Meg's going to be there, or for you, Alba's going to be there. I remember Celine the Machine, who actually lives today. Celine the Machine was going to her nationals and did not feel like training after work. Long day of work, she's tired, does not feel like training. And at her nationals, she was going to face Sam Calhoun, who at the time was phenomenal. And they were going to face off at nationals. She's dead tired, doesn't want to do this. Texts her husband, tell me something to give me the motivation to not skip this training day. Her husband texts back, I bet you Sam Calhoun doesn't skip her training day.
Yeah.
And she goes, that'll do it. We're good. I'll be there. Thank you. Coming into this, how did you feel in terms of like injuries, strength levels, 100%, there and about?
I would say the best I've ever felt. no pains. Obviously, like, yeah, let's just say no pains. You always have a few aches, but it's not, as a powerlifter, but it's not like 0 injuries or anything. So, but I did have that for Sheffield. So that's like what's one of the things. And I knew exactly what caused it for Sheffield. So I was like, okay, let's just not do that again. So I had a way better prep because I made some changes. And so definitely did feel like it was my best prep I've ever had. I hit PRs and everything. I don't know. I haven't done that since like in my first 2 powerlifting years or something, like in everything. Sometimes you hit someone here and there, but like in an actual prep. Normally you do it like far out from a competition and then you try to hit it again in the prep for the competition. But now I could always do it.
You were a little tougher to scout for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure where you'd be at. Like, I know you made huge improvements leading to Junior Worlds. That was the one where everyone's like, oh, okay. Like, if you're 100%, this is going to be an issue. And it was difficult. Were you purposely not posting all of your prep so your opposition didn't know where you're at? Or were you not posting to alleviate? Here's what it is. If you post a lot of your preparations, there's going to be expectations.
Yeah.
And with expectations comes pressure. And so there's the tactical advantage. Your opposition doesn't know your numbers. That's a tactical advantage. But also psychologically, when you're the athlete, less pressure. Nobody's saying she's going to win it, this, that, whatever, which actually we're saying some people were picking you to win. And I don't know if you heard the podcast. I'll ask you in a sec, but was this a decision you made? Why did you make that decision?
I would say like a combination of all of them in a sense. Like everything, it was a bonus, but it's mostly for myself because when I do post my training, like to be honest, I very often get a bit of hubris. I can easily get that and start thinking that if I start posting in it and, you know, I know that more people are going to believe in me, but it's also like sometimes I get like a bit of a delusional feeling and I've done that in the past. And so it was more so I don't mind posting things in a sense because it may be a tactical advantage, may not always be because it's all about the day. I still didn't hit some of the numbers that I did in prep. So it's like what I do in training doesn't really matter. What matters is the competition day. But it's more so like keeping in lane with myself. Just make sure that, okay, if I hit something, I can't like, it's not over yet. So like every time when I had a good number, I was just texting, okay, Joey, like, it's not over yet. So he was like happy. I was like, not over yet. Let's not get too happy because I have to do it on the competition day still. So it's mostly for my mental thing. And it depends from competition to competition where I am with that. Now I felt like I needed it because, and also it's like sometimes I do delete my Instagram simply because also I do love my work and I feel like I'm just going to scroll and that's a waste of time. Like, because I want to train and I want to like help my clients instead. I feel like that's more meaningful way to spend my time. And when I'm not on Instagram, it's like, then I actually have to download the app to post something and that's a little bit of a bother. And then I'm like, So, maybe I feel like doing it when I actually hit a good lift or training. And then I'm like, I wait a few days and then I was like, I don't feel like going in. I don't really want to. So in a sense, and I definitely think that it does take away some pressure and pressure definitely is a privilege. But at the same time, there's already a pressure on myself from myself. And I feel like I had my family, I have my boyfriend who, sacrificed so much for me for like everything that I'm doing. And like, I don't want to, like, that's enough, like, good pressure for me to want to perform, to give back to them, to give back to my clients, to everyone that like believes in me, to my family. I feel like that's enough. It's all that I need because in the end I do powerlifting because I love it. I do it because I want to inspire and I don't feel like I need to post everything all the time for that. I can do it by my competitions. So sometimes I want to do it and that's why I make YouTube videos sometimes and show all of my training and everything. And then sometimes I just stop because I feel like, okay, I just want to be present in the here and now. So it's not like, okay, it's a tactical advantage. It's more about how do I feel at the moment and what makes me feel the best. And then I try to just roll with that. And obviously, like, I don't think that it's a bad thing to not put pressure on yourself. And then also, like, I don't want to see, because I already expected Chiara and Meg to be like crazy strong because I knew, because I knew like from when I won Junior Worlds, me and my partner, we said like, okay, Chiara, she's gonna be on now because especially since Shiara did place better than me at Open Worlds. I did a bad competition. And then, for some reason, I don't know, I got so lucky and I got to Sheffield and everything. And I know Shiara from like our first, because we competed against each other at Junior Worlds in 2021. Yeah. And when Shiara won over me, and that was like a crazy experience as well. And then, so I kind of knew that, because I know that she's driven. So I knew like, okay, she will definitely be on for this one. She'll be wanting this. For sure. And so I was kind of always expecting that they're going to do it. So what we talked about before, I was always thinking about them too. And so I didn't want to see what anyone is doing, because I don't need to see what they're doing to know that they're training and they're doing hard. So, but it's mostly just doing what makes me feel best in the moment. And that's from day to day, competition to competition. Just try to adapt as I go.
Well, first off, good answer. And even then, it can misguide you, like your opposition. Like, for instance, Sarah Naldi in prep did 195 for a triple. And the record before the other day was 188 or 188.5. And you might say, yeah, but that's before she cuts weight. She doesn't cut weight. She said she walks around under 57. When she weighed in at 57, she did no water cut, had breakfast and lunch. Yeah. So you might tell yourself, well, if you're doing 195 for a triple, on weight, are you doing like 205 on competition day? No, 197.5. Just 2.5 kilos more for a single. And I'm like, she won obviously, but if you're her opposition and you saw 195 and you hear she came on the podcast like, no, I don't cut weight, you might freak yourself out. If you're the opposition, you're like, oh my God, she's gonna do 205. You'll get in your own head, get super scared. She ends up winning anyways, but all the point of you can inflate other people's numbers, overthink things. Again, Turbo Tiff did 455 in the gym in April. Now, Turbo Tiff does have to cut weight, so there's going to be some changes there. But yeah, it can misguide you. Or on the flip side, some people train sub-maximally, like Brittany Schlater of Canada, the 84 plus. If you watch her training, you'll be like, she's going to come in 6th. Like, sure, she's way lower, but she's such sub-maximal weights. And then when she gets to the competition day, 20 kilos on certain lifts, it'll totally shock you. So you're right in that, like, if you follow your opposition, it could scare you. It can make you get hubris and get overconfident. It can get in your head. It's dicey. How do you feel, Chiara, when you're coming into a competition? Do you like to follow your opposition? Sometimes it gives you motivation. It's a good thing. How are you for all? And do you listen to the podcast?
I didn't listen all the podcasts. I'm honest.
Except for King of Lifts, of course. You never miss an episode. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry.
Oh, it's all right.
I can learn in English listening.
There it is. Yeah, right.
So about this meet, I was very prepped to do it. I was very excited. The 24 hours before the meet, I was anxious at 100%. All the anxious I have the 24 hours before, but at the meet, I was calm and squat. The number I did in training is really crazy. Mm-hmm. So I'm really disappointed with the squat of yesterday. But I think I can do that numbers then next meets or the next years, maybe in Sheffield, I hope. I didn't post that number.
You didn't post it?
No.
What did you hit in prep? You could say now because...
Yeah, I can say 215.
Oh, wow. So, yeah. Holy smokes.
The plan was open at 200, second 210, of course, as the last meet, and then try the world record.
Because the world record is 213, is it?
214, yes,
okay.
of Leah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And throw a chip on. Like make sure if you do a world record, throw a chip. I know Sarah Naldi did not put a chip on her squats, and I'm like, you gotta throw those chips. You didn't need it, but you might need the 0.5 if it's super close.
Yeah.
Yeah, your training. So if you had heard the podcast, Rory Lynch, one of the hosts for King of Lifts, when we do a preview show, was mentioning some of your lifts. Now we didn't get a lot from you, so it was hard to tell where you were at. But he was talking about how you were taking some of your previous PRs for reps. Like your prep was amazing.
The prep of squat, but also of bench and deadlift was really crazy.
It was crazy.
That was my best prep ever.
Yeah.
And yes, I was really ready for this meet. Squat was really on point. In the last 2 weeks, I made mistakes. Maybe for the weight cut, I don't know why. We have to solve these problems, but I think I can add kilos to the open over yesterday.
You took your previous personal best on the platform. Like, we'll walk through the day, but real quick, just talking about your prep. Like, you opened up on your, I think you opened up on your deadlift opener was your previous personal best. Is that right, or was it your bench? Like, it's crazy. Your numbers.
The opener of deadlift wasn't planned yesterday because the plan was open at 210.
Okay.
But Alba has to
force your hand.
me to open higher.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, your prep was phenomenal. Everyone knew it was going to be big. Before we start the day, what did you guys think about Megan Scanlon and what she did at U.S. Nationals?
To be honest, I think that Meg hit the best meet at the Nationals. And maybe she hasn't to do the Nationals because in America, the total of Sheffield can...
qualify you.
Yeah, qualify you for the Worlds. So she can also don't do the Worlds, the National, right?
Right.
In Italy, it's not
the
you
case.
have to hit your PRs on every meet, every national. So I think she hits everything there, and maybe something gone wrong yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, she looked phenomenal at U.S. Nationals.
Yeah.
The biggest total we'd ever seen from a 63 at that point at U.S. Nationals. So she's definitely still in her prime, on point. Obviously, she had to catch a flight. That's why she's not here now. So don't have the opportunity. I'll have her on the podcast when she's back and ask her. It wasn't her day, but this is sports.
Yeah.
You don't always have your day. And here's the tough thing. You have like 2, 3, maybe 4 days a year. You have one bad day. That could be half your season. Other sports, you have like 50 games. It'll all work out in the wash. Yeah, it's very difficult. What were you expecting from Meg? And what was your impression after you watched U.S. Nationals? So we didn't know your prep was going so amazingly. Maybe you weren't intimidated at all. And you're like, no, that's probably what I expected. But what were you thinking?
Well, it's definitely what I expected because it's Meg. And I think all three of us got a very good top end. And all of us are super strong. And I think we're super close. And I kind of expected that. Even when she did it, I was like, well, of course. Of course. Sheffield was a bad meet, and I think something probably went wrong. I don't know what happened with how her prep was the last before. But still, I'm never counting Meg out. And I would say that was super inspiring and definitely got me, stoked as well. Because now, before that, I feel like everyone was talking about the 63s going above the world record. Everyone can do it. And, for Sheffield, none of us did. And we were still under it. And now she actually, did a total, she did it before Sheffield, though. She did a smaller meet. But, at a bigger meet, she actually did above it. And I was watching. But I think it was super inspiring. And I definitely think she'll come back from this and have a better meet next time. For sure. So I told him at the podium just when we were just after medal ceremony, I was like, I'm already excited for next year. Because I can't wait. It will be crazy again.
It's hilarious because So Meg has been around for a while now. She's a wily veteran, like a legend in the game. And I don't got to tell you, ladies. And like I remember her back in like 2017, battling Maria T, breaking the open world record in the 57s. And I've known her for like almost 10 years. So I know her well. I know her husband, etc. And as she's leaving, I try to give her like a little pump up, like, "Hey, yo, you did good. You showed a lot of heart out there, all right?" And she gave me a look like, "Ryan, get the fuck out of here." Like, you know, I don't want to hear that right now. I'm like, and I just saw she goes, "Ryan," and I go, "Fair enough. I'm sorry. You're right. You don't need this pump up." You're like, "I got this. Don't worry. I'll sort it myself." But I'm Meg Scanlon, for God's sake. It's hilarious. But anyways, okay. So you guys are there on the day, warm-up room. Everybody's in the warm-up room. How does it feel for you guys? For me, I love walking through the warm-up room like before a big battle because I could see how intense you guys are. Like, you guys are always like friendly, all smiles or whatever. But like, if I see you in the warm-up room, you are like serious, ready to rock and roll.
War mood.
Yeah. And it's like, but I I enjoy when you walk around there and ordinarily somebody that you would see in the regular day-to-day, make eye contact, smile, how are you, whatever. And when you see them locked in and you feel that tension, like, whoa, this is about to, like, this is serious. You know, a moment, like this is a moment. And everybody is like I know locked in is cliche to say, but you guys are locked in. How did you feel before and how did you feel the tension of the room? How was it? Because you knew it was going to be a battle.
I was confident. I knew that they could do very good on squat. Also, Alba improves a lot from junior worlds because 197 is your PB, maybe.
Yeah, it was.
Also in training?
Yeah, it was an all-time.
Oh, you know. She says maybe, but I'm pretty sure you knew. But anyways, go on, sorry.
Yeah, no, I did 193 at Junior World, so this was 197.5 was an all-time PR.
Yeah. So I was ready for that battle. Yeah, I was excited. Yeah, really excited.
And how about you? I mean, you got a legend like Megan Scanlon. You've already battled Kiara for several times throughout the years, and you're about to go again. And you know how strong you are. This is a moment for you. How did you feel as it's just about to begin?
I was extremely nervous. It was a different feeling, and it was all about like, because I did have the confidence from the prep, but it was like, okay, my usual way of being when I compete, does it really work? Because it didn't work at Sheffield. And I was like, a part of me was very for like, how is it gonna feel and like enduring all of the emotions. And so I was feeling super excited, like the most excited that I've ever felt. And like I said, the warm feeling, because I was like, I'm the same way, like when we're competing, we're like, now wouldn't say like enemies, but we're competitors. So when we're competing, it's on. And then afterwards, we can be all like smiling and everything. But so I was definitely on, and I was super excited because I just had this one feeling. I'm going against the best in the world, 2 amazing girls. I'm here. I'm doing what I'm loving. I actually got a shot. I'm giving this a real chance. It's not like last year where I thought like, okay, yeah, I've done a total in training. That's the same as Meg's last meet. So maybe, whatever, maybe if stars align, I could possibly win or something. And it wasn't like really there. Now it was more like there is an actual battle going on. The first like real battle probably of my life. And I'm actually a part of it, and I was enjoying it. So I was super, super nervous, but I was also enjoying it. And then,
I love the battles.
Yeah.
I really love the battles.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. I lived for that emotion. Yeah.
It's interesting because I had the 52s, Megan Lee Smith and Evie, and they both said they love training, hate competing. Because it's anxious, it's anxiety, it's comparison against someone else. They don't like it, but you love a good battle.
I love it.
Really?
Because I can explain it. The adrenaline is at the top, and the emotions are
heightened.
Yeah. So I loved it.
Like Megan Lee Smith was talking about her last deadlift, and she goes, I know it sounds weird, but I could like, it feels like it lasts for like 10 seconds, even though it probably lasts 2 seconds. And I could feel like hamstrings, glute, lower back, like turning on as it goes. And like you feel every muscle, and like you actually have time to like feel it. And I'm like, that's not actually weird. When you're heightened adrenaline and anxiety together, your brain starts processing things like frame by frame and slows things down. That's evolutionarily to your benefit. That's evolution. Literally, your body does that. Back in the day, if you were in a situation with heightened anxiety and adrenaline, you probably needed to process a situation like that. Slow it down for survival. So now, evolutionarily speaking, when adrenaline and anxiety heighten, certain moments actually last longer. Yeah. And that's a fact. And some people will go their whole life without experiencing these moments like you guys had. At least if they experience it, it's because like people talk about a car crash or something, and it felt like you saw the car coming. It lasted like a second, but they felt like they saw the car coming ahead of time, and oh my God, whatever. So it's a negative, but for you guys, it's a positive. So to actually be in a situation where it's positive and you get to have like time slows down, the feelings are heightened, your senses are heightened, you feel every muscle in your body turning on, you're like, oh my God. That's why some athletes, when they retire, are like, I'm never gonna have this feeling again. It's very difficult for athletes to go into normal life. So I could see why, like, and other athletes have also said, okay, but it's anxiety and adrenaline that give you this moment. So they hate it and love it at the same time. Like, I don't know. Well, we're getting deep here.
When I compete without competitors, is more like training. But I train every day.
Right.
The meet with the other strong competitor is this sport.
Yeah.
So I love it.
Yeah. You're fierce. When you come out, first off, you start pacing back and forth and like, yeah, you're in the moment. No question, especially when it comes down to the last pulls of deadlifts. How about yourself? In terms of comparison between training, competing?
For me, I would say when I'm in prep, I feel just as anxious. Like, and I say anxious in a hyped, good way during most of the sessions as I do in the competition. It's just that during the competition, it's constant. Like every second, the entire, from weigh-in till when you go until that last deadlift is all the time. And I also love it. It's like a high in a sense, although I have no idea what that actually is. But like it's like everything is on, and it's like that feeling is something else. You feel like you're part of something bigger in a sense. So it's such a crazy feeling, and it's uncomparable, and you don't get that often. So you have to, like, you are blessed to be able to have that as well. So yeah, I would say the same thing.
Like, we're getting deep here, but anyways,
that's good.
Exactly. In those moments when like you're waiting to go up, the anxiety and it's the anticipation. You know, like your team goes, you're four lifters out. And you're like, fuck, okay, 4 lifters out. Get your song right. And you're like, all right. And the anxiety of waiting for 4 lifters out. Now you're 3 lifters out. Okay, 2 lifters out. Okay, you're on deck. Let's go. Let's get ready. And you're like, fuck, all right. And that minute before you go out doesn't feel like a minute. Again, this is how your body's processing the moment. So 60 seconds can feel like half an hour. And that day, when you're, to your point about the anxiety, like in training, you could try to pump yourself up for that big top set. But in competition, you feel that whether you like it or not, the entire day, a lingering in the back uneasiness, which stretches out everything. You're like, I just want to get there. I just want to get through it. Let's get past the weigh-in. Let's go. Let me get on the platform and get the anxiety out. And that day feels so long. And I remember telling somebody, because I experienced certain moments like this as well. I said, if that day was every day of your life, it would literally feel like your life lasted forever.
Yeah. No, every
It
day.
would feel like
I
1,000 years.
I couldn't do it every day.
It might be over. Yeah, that might be a little much, but it would feel like, man, I feel like I'm 1,000 years old. It's yeah, it lasts forever. Let's walk through squats. Let's start with you, Alba. How did squats feel for you? And let's walk through the first, second, and third attempts.
Well, I almost failed my first squat. That was terrible.
Yeah, what happened there? I wanted to ask you.
I was honestly just overthinking. That was the nerves of just like going from, I think that was just the lingering effect of Sheffield, like having that bad meet where I was like just still nervous about, okay, the prep has been good. I've made, changes. I've learned from my mistakes there, but now now I need to like relearn how to compete. And I did like what I normally did, but I just started overthinking my setup, and then I got wobbly and I lost balance. But it was a wonder that I actually locked it out and didn't fall forward. So, I actually got 3 white lights, because I managed to just stabilize it so I could get the rack signal. But I felt like, oh, crap. That was not the plan. But at the same time, after I knew that, okay, I'm just overthinking. So we decided to go a little bit lower on the second. The other ones my coaches were thinking of like, hey, let's go 192.5 instead on the second. And so, but I was like, okay, let's go 190 because I know that, but I may have gotten a bit tired. That felt super heavy. I almost failed it. I knew it was probably just overthinking, but it felt like, okay, we just need to make sure we get the second. And then we can jump more to the third because I'm used to bigger jumps. And then that one, I was just like, don't overthink, don't start overthinking because it feels heavy in the walkout and if your balance feels off. And I didn't. And then I felt like, okay, now I'm back. I nailed that one. And then we went 197.5. We were discussing a little bit, maybe should we go higher or something, but I was like, okay, 7.5 feels like a good choice because it is still an all-time PR. And also just because of what happened, did I get fried or anything? But yeah, maybe it felt heavy, but I know sometimes for me it can really feel heavy, but if it looks in a certain way, I can grind more. And when I checked, like Joey and also my partner were telling me like, yeah, you should have gone maybe like 200 on the third because that 197.5, it felt like it was way better than I thought it was. But it was just that part of me where, like, I think for squats was the one where it was like being reborn. That's what I'm referring to it as. So like, yeah, I almost died on that first bump. Then I managed to get back and like managed to just, okay, get back in the zone, redo it, get it better. I know I'm strong. It's not that my strength is bad. It's just something weird happened. It was just like a balance issue. And then I managed to get the third one, which was, an all-time PR. So that was very good. Like
commentating and watching, when you see, so you're trying to take in the information and decide, is this going to be a tough day for you or not? And when I saw the opening squat, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, you don't know until you see the second. And Meg had a tougher than expected squat session as well. Opener, like it moved, but I was like, well, that looked like work. Meg's second looked top end. Only place she could go really was 2.5 kilos. Didn't hit that. So it was like, some people will have tough ones. Then you came back, smoked your second. It's like, oh, maybe we're back. You can't. Back. Yeah, she's back. And then I think 197.5. And yeah, you were in position to fight. If you're in position, and then you could fight through it. But if you're kind of like a little out of position, very different. It looks totally different. It looks like top end, like your opener looked, oh my gosh, is this top end? We're in big trouble if that's the case. So 3 for 3. And are you thinking, I'm in a good position, so?
I was thinking that I was in good position because I didn't know what was happening. I don't pay attention to what my competitors are doing. But obviously, like, my coaches came back to me and, like, Joey just told me that. And he basically just came back to me and were like, okay, things are happening. This is a really important lift. Fight like hell. Just be yourself. Don't overthink. And that was like what I just needed to hear. And I was like, then I was thinking like, I know I won't fail it because I did this number in training. And I felt like I'm not weak today. It's like, first I was like, okay, is my cut like bothering me? Is something wrong? But it was like, no, nothing is wrong. I am feeling strong. I got the confidence. It was simply just overthinking and nerves. And that's something that I obviously need to work on. But I think it was just like, that was just the lingering effect that I needed to like overcome. And after that, I felt really confident because now I was like, okay, now I know I can compete. Now I know, I know what to do. Now Alba is back, like literally for myself too after that. So I felt like, and I also like, I didn't really, for this prep, I was mostly like, I can't control what my competitors do. But when I did 197.5 in a train, of course, I was like, well, it would be nice to do more, of course. But at the same time, this is still a PR. And if I can be better than I was my last competition, that's still a huge win. Like, that's something that I should be proud of, even though it doesn't give the end result that I want. Of course, I would still be super, super sad about that, but I can only control myself. So I was like, for this meet, or for like, if I do this number, I'm still doing a PR. So it's still better than I ever done. Of course, I want more, but that's still good. And so I was kind of proud with it, although I was at the same time like, why did I get those nerves? But I'm very happy with the attempt selections that we made. It felt like we definitely made the right choices to get back in place, because it might as well been me, because at Sheffield, everything felt like shit, and then I started changing my technique, and then we were screwed after that. So for this time, at least, I was like, okay, don't overthink, don't do Sheffield, like just do what you normally do and you'll be fine. And then I actually was fine.
And also, tasting a little bit of adversity and overcoming it, to your point, increases confidence. Adversity isn't the worst thing in the world. No. It can make you better. Even inside the same competition. Wow, that was tough. That was my opener. Holy shit. Come back your second, smoke it, and you're like, all right, I've been tested. Everybody's got a plan until they get hit, as Mike Tyson says. You got hit, metaphorically speaking, rallied, back on plan. It shows a little bit of resolve and boosts your confidence. For yourself, Chiara, let's walk through squats. How are squats feeling?
I felt really good in squat. The last warm up was I really smoked it, 185, and 200. I felt good, but the technique wasn't there yesterday. So, but 200 was right. Was not too slow to go less than 210. I did 210 a lot of time in training, so I was confident. Something was really went wrong. So next time I do it.
Was it? How much body weight do you cut?
2.5 kilos.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Something more.
Maybe a little more sometimes. Yeah. Fair enough. Hey, I eat Italian food. I'm not judging.
Yeah,
it's good. But you felt strong.
Yeah.
You think maybe it was like a technical breakdown then? Yeah.
Yes, of course. Because when I cut a lot of weight, usually I feel like in the
like stomach, torso.
Yes, not so strong here. Yeah. But yesterday wasn't that. So technique. Yes, maybe the correct attempt was 207 to make it sure, or also 205.
It's so tough. Because 20/20 hindsight, as they say, like it's easy to look back and like, damn it, we should have done 207 or whatever. But
yes.
This is the way it is. But afterwards, squats are done. Meg missed a lift. Elbow hitters. How were you feeling in terms? Are you even paying attention to what the other ladies are doing?
No.
Okay.
No, I was really on point because I knew, as I told, that with my bench and deadlift, I could hit a good total. So I knew that between 5 and 60 and 5 and 70 would be the gold medal. So, and with the bench and deadlift, I could do that total. So I was still in the game.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Wow. We'll get to that, but you are for sure still in the game. So your confidence is rattled, and this is really the difference between some individuals like you guys and some other individuals where if they miss a lift, now they're like, oh my God.
I was like that Some meet was like that, but yesterday I tell, okay, Chiara, you mistake squat, let's go bench.
Yeah.
You can do it.
You could just leave it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And previously you weren't like that. This has come as you mature as an athlete?
Yes. This prep I really improved this thing.
Here's and I've talked to Meg about this like on the podcast and whatnot. So Meg is 37, and we talk about you guys who are, how old are you, sorry?
26.
26, so over 10 years younger. Alba just came out of the juniors.
23.
Right. So you guys are considerably younger. And she was saying, like, these young ladies are gaining, and they're gaining fast. And it's not just physically, but as athletes, mentally, emotionally maturing as athletes. Experience gives you confidence, because when you have a bad opener and everything goes okay, like more than okay, you won anyways. Now you know. Oh, next time something goes wrong, like, it's okay. You fail your third squat, you're still in position. Like, you get better and better even mentally. So you guys are growing very quickly as athletes, and Meg sees it as well. You know, Meg's not here. We'll have that conversation, but she was saying previously, it gets tough with these young lions are growing with their numbers, emotionally, mentally, like as athletes, the maturation of these ladies, and we see it in the men's as well. But
we have to say, though, that Meg is still increasing.
Yeah.
Like a ton. So I wouldn't say that we're just you ones that are like doing it, because she's doing it too fast, which is super cool.
Hey, trust me. Yeah, trust me. Yeah, for sure. So you guys are moving into the bench press. Both you guys are still confident. Maybe we'll talk with start off with you first, Chiara. How are you feeling about the bench press? I know for myself, Amelia, when we're in the commentary booth, uncertain how bench would go in terms like bench depth rule. You never know with how calls might be in terms of, you guys have a very unique style. You two ladies and Meg, actually, a unique style of benching, how that might get called. Did you have any apprehension or anxieties around the bench press in terms of the calls? Did you do anything to your technique coming into this? Or are you going in there being like, it is what it is, let's see what happens?
The prep went very, very well.
Very good for you, what we saying.
Yes, and the plan was open at 115. Carlo told me we can open at 117, but bench press scares me. Right. For the new rules, for previous meet that didn't went like I thought. So no, we open at 115 and then we say. So bench went like we planned. Maybe we could attempt like 130, but I never hit 130 in training, so it would be too much.
Yeah, it's risky.
But maybe I could have done yesterday.
Did you see Meg's benching?
No.
Okay. Did you see Meg's benching?
In comp or in training?
Just like yesterday.
No, yesterday,
no.
no.
Okay.
Or I didn't see her benching, but I actually sneaked at the scoreboard during bench. So I saw that she missed her opener.
Yeah,
and then, because
me too.
Well, because obviously for me, I was like, oh, what? Can I actually do more in bench? What's going on? That was my impression.
When I saw Alba went after Meg, I thought, what the fuck?
I was thinking the same when I saw that. It was like 137. I was like,
she hit the world record. So
yeah. But I realized
something
is probably wrong. But I was expecting since she missed. I don't know why she missed the opener though. I have no idea because I haven't checked back. So I don't know if it was.
So it was a technical call, and this is what This is what makes it contentious. You know, it'll create a little bit of anxiety. That's why you guys you were right to pick a weight that if you had to, like, adjust your technique and still hit it. Because Meg, had to make an adjustment on technique to hit this. Like this is the thing.
Oh, is it because I heard something about that they're gonna make like a clarification about a starting position or something? I don't know if it's that, but I heard something. But then we were told that it's not something, because I was told about it in the beginning, and I was like, I think I will be fine, so I don't need to change anything. And then apparently we got later told that it won't matter for this meet, and then. So we kind of decided, okay, let's just do what we're normally doing, because it's like nobody knows what's going on. It was just something. And then we kind of found out that, okay, it's not something they're doing now. It's just like a future thing. So I don't know too much about it. But so for that, we like didn't change anything. So it felt like it was something that we probably didn't even need to know. But I don't know how it was in Meg's case. I honestly have no idea. But it was a weird situation, what we were like told when we started. But I think it was more so a mistake that it went out.
Yeah, I mean,
I have no idea.
If it hasn't changed, don't tell anybody anything. Get in their heads. Let them just, because then it's like causes more confusion. And I hope they don't do too many rules on the bench press, because we got enough rules on the bench press.
It wasn't like it was more like they're gonna clarify something that's already in the rule. I think it's just the starting position to just like make sure you don't change your elected starting position, something like that.
Yeah.
But so it's more so like they're gonna clarify it, and so. But then I heard they're not gonna do it now, because. So we'll see after. I have no idea. So please don't quote me on this. If I'm saying something terrible, that's wrong. But that's kind of something what we heard, which is a little bit weird. But it was like the referees didn't know about it that were judging, was probably. So it's like a new thing that probably will come in after, and they won't be since no one knows it. You don't really implement something new apparently on a championship. So it's like, I think it's all fine, but it was a bit weird. But I think it's just like not a new rule. It's more like clarification.
Yeah, like for Meg, I can't remember now exactly what it might have been, bench depth or whatever. I would have to double back now, but it hit her. Meg is a veteran, so at the very least, if it's going to hit somebody and it hits a veteran like that, they're going to pick a weight that is like, all right, pick a weight, especially on bench press. If you have to change something on the day and retake it, and it's not your normal technique. It's nothing you normally do in the gym, and you can still do that weight. Like, pick a weight like that. So your intuition of 115. I mean, you didn't have to retake it, but just in case, you're like, I could do this with my feet up if I got to. Good. If I got to you're not going to do it with your feet up. But Meg got hit with it, had to retake her second. It held her back a little. Obviously, she missed her third squat, having to retake her opener. So you could see where, wow, this is getting tougher and tougher and tougher as we go. This is going to turn into a great battle by the time we get into deadlifts. How did you feel about bench press? Obviously, you had a great day.
Yeah, bench was amazing. Yeah. Like, bench was the best. But I just want to add there for me, like, when I saw that, okay, it was red for her opener, I just know, like, that doesn't matter. She's missed on calls before, but she always comes in and gets her third, and she seems just as confident for her sixth. So I was like, this does not mean anything. Like, don't get out of that. Yeah. But no, for me, we were the same for the opener, because we had a plan, because usually I do a 10-kilo jump in training, but I've never done in competition. So I was a bit scared of doing that, but we had it as a plan. And then I was like, I chickened out a little bit. But so we wanted to, like, because of what we heard and the small uncertainty, we decided to, okay, let's stick with the 10-kilo jump plan to go 125, 135. Just because, well, then I get an easy opener at 125. I can always do it no matter what. Like, no matter what they throw at me, I will be able to do it. And so just to make sure, instead of, otherwise we might have like increased it to 127.5 to make it a 7.5 kilo jump. And then I smoked it, but I did get a red for depth. So I was like, I knew it felt super, super easy. I was like the best my opener ever felt. But a 10-kilo jump still felt a little bit scary because I knew I would need to go deeper. So I just told them that I think I can do 135, but I'm a little bit scared. So they're okay, let's go 132.5. And then I sat behind in the back there and I regretted myself all the time. Like, we can't change the second ride. And we're like, no, but you have to go deeper this one, like, because they're looking at depth more. And I was like, yeah, I was already planning on that's no issue. But I was like, I should have gone. My gut was just telling me I should have gone 135. And went into 132.5, and it felt just as good. And I just smoked, and I was like, I should have gone 135. Like, it was so amazing. And then obviously we went 140, and that's like been, you know, it's such a milestone doing 140. And so I was super happy about that. I've done it in training, but like I did it for Sheffield, but I've usually had like issues with, you know, butt coming off, or maybe like I don't hit depth, or like short pause or something, because it's a weight that I'm scared of. But I've never peaked so well in my bench. Like I've never when I did that, my lift off was terrible. I almost lost balance. I was like, oh my God. And I had to like fix it after the lift off. But I was like, yeah, I still got it. And then I just put it down and it like flew. And I was like, oh my God, it felt like I had 5 or 10 kilos more. Like I've never had that feeling in my bench. Like I was like, I wish I was a training session. I could have maxed out, because that felt amazing. So obviously you never know with the rules. Maybe something would have happened if I increased but it felt like the easiest my bench has ever felt. It felt like better than my opener.
It's crazy. You hop off 140 and be like, 150. I want 150.
No, but just because I know I can still grind, and when it feels like, okay, now it's getting heavy, but it felt absolutely effortless. I still, you know, there's always the what if. I still didn't do it, but yeah, it was just a good feeling, more so for me, because for Junior Worlds, I hit a Junior World record, but I peaked my bench like shit.
Really?
Yeah, I did better, and I did 137.5 in training then, and I thought I would do more. And then after that session, everything, I couldn't like even bench anymore. It was like after that, my butt came off all the time, technique was off, and then it's taken until now, basically, to like get my technique back. And now like I kind of looked back, like what did I do and everything, and like tried to fix things. And the fact that I tried to do it more like I did for Open Worlds last year, because then I did peak super well, because then I did 127.5, and it was like, oh my God, my bench is super strong. So I tried to like see what did I do then, and like redo that, kind of remember what I was doing then and like redo it. And yeah, it was the best my bench has ever felt in competition. So it was crazy, because I felt like I could just sink it into depth, and it was like 0 issues. And normally if I sink it more, it's going to be like maybe there's a butt lift or something happening or so, but it was, I don't know, I felt amazing. So that's where I'm like, yes.
Isn't it interesting that, and this happens, like where you deviate from what you used to do, and eventually one of your lifts can like just go off track, and you're like, oh, what the heck? And all of a sudden, like you're saying, like now when I hit certain weights that I used to hit, my butt's lifting, and like you must have done something, and you ask yourself, like, how did I get to this place? And sometimes it's just small concessions. It's not all at once, because otherwise you would know it. It's just, when did I start doing something a little different with my feet, my placement, hand, whatever. Well, it's a couple cues for a couple muscles, just a couple things, a little here, a little here, a little there. And then over time, a few weeks, really quickly, you're like, I don't know how to bench press anymore. What did I stop doing? And it's not necessarily one thing. You have to double back and retrain, redo the cues. It's interesting, but it freaking happens.
Yeah.
Even to people like you.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like for me, it happens so often when fatigue is high. So if I get like super tired, then, you know, I have a really bad session, and it's like I start trying to make that session feel better. So make something subconsciously, I change something. And then, you do it another one, and then you do another one. Or it's just like you go a bit, like I'm very, very sensitive to going too heavy in bench specifically. So if I go too heavy like one session, then and my technique goes off, like, okay, I go too heavy and I have a butt lift. That could screw up everything, because then it's like I've teached that technique to me.
Yeah.
And that's something that I was really careful about now, but I was still obviously a bit afraid of it. But yeah, it felt the best it's ever done. So I'm very happy that worked out. But at the same time, now it's like, what did I have? What if I would have actually done that 135 in the second? But I don't think we would have made like maybe 2.5 more max more in like the plan. I don't think we would have like risked much more than that. And it turned out okay in the end.
I think 100% you hit it right on the head with, it's probably during fatigue, you're tired, you're probably sore and beat up. So the improper, you don't cue a certain muscle, maybe that muscle's super tired. Maybe my muscle's super sore. So you're like, for this back down set, you just get a little loose. Let those sore muscles don't cue those up a little bit or slightly, you're a little fatigued. And to your point, you do that little concession for that training day. Well, maybe start doing it for a few training days in a row. Now, the repetition of doing that over and over, now your body's like, this is our setup? And it feels normal. And then you're like, oh, shit. Now you're doing it for your top sets. And all of a sudden you're like, what happened to me? But anyways, have you had that experience as well?
Yes. To forget how to bench, you mean?
Or anything. I mean, it's happened to me for all the lifts.
A lot with the deadlift. Yes, bench is not my best lift. So, but deadlift, yes, a lot of time. But in this prep, no.
Your deadlift was really good this prep.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
This is a good segue. Let's talk about deadlifts. So going into deadlifts after the bench squat, how do you feel in the warm-up room? Do you know where all the other ladies are at this point? You're looking at the scoreboard?
No, but Carlo told me, okay, Chiara, you all are in the same total because after bench, we were all there.
Yeah.
The opener of deadlift. So we just have to decide how much to open. Let's see Alba, the last warm-up of Alba, and then we decide.
Oh, really? You guys are watching?
Yeah.
Really?
Did you know?
No. But I was like, I think I was like laying down.
You look dead. They're like, we got this.
No, but I was so tired. Yeah. So I was like, I didn't even, and my back was like toast. So I like felt like sitting was like painful, and I could feel like my upper back was like fried. So I was like, I can't sit. It's too painful. So I just lay down and chill. And so no, but I didn't like, I tried to like honestly like not look too much at Chiara because it's like, I know she's locked in and I'm like, I don't need to look at her because I feel like I need to focus on what I'm doing,
And you're also like, hopefully she's not looking at me because I'm half
but
dead.
it's funny because I did choose to warm up right. We did like have a rack right next to her, and then Meg were on the other side, so she already got the best spot between both of us.
She's like this the whole time looking back and forth.
Place.
Yeah. Nah.
So Carlo wait the last warm up of Alba and then decide to hire the opener. Because the plan was open at 2 and 10 and then jump of 2:25, but we had to open heavier, so we did it.
You know what? First off, I didn't know Corolla, was she handling you or one of them? Corolla Gara was handling you in the back, or was she just one of the coaches back with you?
Sorry.
Well, is it Corolla Gara who was with you?
No.
Okay. Sorry, I thought you were saying Corolla was.
Cara was there, but no with me.
Okay. And you're right. I remember looking at the forecast, and when Deads was starting, and this might have changed after you did your change, or maybe this was after the change went in. I can't remember the sequence of events right now, but at one point, looking at the forecast, being like, how close is this? I know it's close. And you two were exactly, after you hit your opener, at the same weight. I think it was 560, which is crazy. And Megan, due to squats and bench, was around 545. So she had a gap. And this is when it kind of became clear, oh my gosh, for her to cover that gap, and you guys have huge deadlifts, going to be very, very difficult. Not impossible because maybe you guys miss or whatever, and the door opens up of opportunity for her. Not impossible. So she's got to try. But she needs certain things to happen for her to be able to pull this out. But for you two ladies, as close can get. This was going to be like looking at the forecast, like, oh, this is going to be a good deadlift session. So let's talk about your deadlift warm-ups. How did deadlifts feel in your opener, your second?
I felt good. The opener was faster than I expected because I never opened so heavy. I never done that jump also in training because my maximum jump was 215, 230 in training, but on the platform is another thing. So when I saw 232, I thought, oh my God, why? But I have to do it. So I hit everything there, and the third
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that one sec. That second, you let out a huge cry, dropped to your knees immediately, and were like, you were extremely ecstatic and happy, ran off the platform. Like, you yelled an epic yell after you hit it. How were you feeling there? Are you thinking, like, is it because it was such a big deadlift and you're like, oh my gosh?
After the second, I knew that the third was not there.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I knew it. I hoped Alba missed her third, but her second was really strong. So something had to gone wrong for her, but I was sure she hit the third.
Were you happy with the deadlift anyways? Oh, it was a huge deadlift. A big PR for you.
I'm very happy. Yeah. I'm very happy because deadlift was on point.
If nothing else, it solidified you as silver ahead of Meg. That really pushed it out of Meg's grasp. She would have needed you to miss. She would have needed to continuously hit big. You hitting that really made it between you and Alba. It was a huge deadlift. But you seemed happy in the moment.
Yes, I was.
Happy. I
was very happy, and I'm still very happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
so, I'm second, but I hit a world record for a little moment. So
that's right.
So I'm very happy about it.
And how about yourself, Alba? As you're watching this, you see her second attempt, massive pull, and you know what you have to do now. How confident are you? Because she's going to pull after you. So you guys need to extend her as much as possible. And I'm assuming you know this is your last pull. You're going to be in position. This is it. It's all come down to your last pull. Are you feeling anxiety? Are you feeling confident?
Well, still like my heart is going to come out of my chest. But I did feel 100,000% confident that I was going to hit the weight that was loaded, if I'm being honest, because my deadlift did feel the best that it ever did. And there was like this discussion about, because I didn't see Chiara's second. I just heard that it was heavy. And that's why, I haven't seen it myself. And it's like, I'm not going to second guess anyone. Anything can happen. I still remember like watching that Junior Worlds with, in like 2019 with Ada Run missing her second because it was too heavy and then getting more on the third. So it's like...
That's a throwback, by the way. 2019 Junior Worlds.
Yeah, for sure. But it's still like a memory of mine. So I'm not going to second guess anything. But like they used to... I knew for the second that it was going to be like... Deadlift felt amazing. Like it felt super strong. And, squats also felt super strong. It was just nerves. And then I knew like, okay, I am actually at my strongest today. Just trying to like be calm and just remember my technique. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to miss. Then there's the fact that I thought it was more on the bar than it was. Because apparently that's the only thing. It was apparently like a discussion. I was like, it's 230 on the bar. And I was a bit sad because it wasn't more. But I was like, still like, okay, I know that it's for the goal. So obviously I'll do it and I'll give my best. And then, I didn't. Like, I knew 100% that I was going to get it. I was a bit surprised that it was so easy off the floor. Like, the second came off the floor, I was like, oh, this was actually easier than I thought. Like, I thought it would be more of a grind. But it makes sense since it was 227.5, I guess. Because it was, like, less than I expected. But so, like, I knew I had it. And I, of course, like, there was this gut feeling that, okay, this is the gold. But since I'm not the last puller, you can't say that you won yet. So I was, like, happy, and that's why I was like just locked it out super confident, like okay, I knew there was not a simple, like there was no doubt that I was gonna get that deadlift, but I still didn't know. So I was like, okay, I'm happy. I thank the referees, and I skip off a little bit because I've done my best, and I also thought it was still like a PR, so I was happy because I thought it was a PR because I thought it was 230 on the bar. So I was like, I hit all-time PRs on everything.
Of course, we'll tell her later.
No, I found out on the medal ceremony when it said like.
That's when I tell you. I'd wait until you won your medal and be like, it wasn't a PR.
No,
but who gives a shit? You're a gold medalist.
Yeah, I saw it on the screen. I was like, 220. Did they make a mistake? It was 230, right? Because Joey said it was.
Joey's face is like.
Yeah, no, and I was like, and then I saw it. I was like, I just called my sister and told her I did 230 and that I did 567. I was like. did they make a mistake? And I was like, I just dropped it for a second. So I was still like super happy. That was like a moment where, so I like skipped off and was like, okay, I'm super happy. But then, you know, I had a feeling because they told me that her second was super, super heavy. But at the same time, you know, I was still like, okay, I'm going to watch this until the end. Maybe, you know, maybe she gets it. So, you know, I just didn't take anything out. And I think that's why I didn't have like that super scream of being like, okay, like I did for Junior Worlds, like, okay, I'm a world champion or something on that third, because it wasn't settled yet. So I just went in like, okay, everyone hugged me and I was like, hold on.
Wait a second.
I'm watching here.
Yeah,
and then I was like preparing to go out and like hug her, either to say congrats or say thank you for the battle. It was like, okay, let's see what it is. And then she missed it, and it was like, the thing is, it wasn't like the, oh my God, of joy. It was more like relief. And I just had that feeling of like relief. Like, okay, what happened all the time? And then when I was sleeping yesterday, that's when like tears of happiness came to me. Like, okay. No,
You cried in your sleep?
No, well, I couldn't sleep. And so I was, you know, going through the whole competition, trying to sleep. And then it was like, you know, I actually did it. And it was like everyone's support, then everything that's happened these last 2 years, and like everything just came back to me. And it was like, oh my God, this was such a warm feeling, and all the growth that I had and like the entire experience. Because like I had like such a good team, and like Sammy, my boyfriend, was like, because obviously, you know, I'm just sitting by myself, but he was like telling me stories of how everyone was like discussing that last deadlift, what to do. Everyone was super nervous, and everyone was crunching numbers. And I was like outside of that, and all of them were apparently dying, and like, you know, they were so nervous, and their heart were coming out. And like hearing all of that, I was like, does this many people like care for me and, you know, want me to succeed? And that was like, you know, it's an individual sport, but, you know, it takes a team. That's from a really good documentary, but I feel from like a pro swimmer, but I feel like that's how it is in powerlifting too. So I just got all the feelings coming back after. So like after that third, it was like, I knew I was going to get it, but I didn't get that happy. And at first and medals are mad, I wasn't mad first, but of course I'm still happy because I won, but it was because I thought it was something else.
But you're the world champ. You know what? I don't blame you for being apprehensive after you hit it. Be like, I'll celebrate afterwards, because I could tell you right now, from like a third party just viewing it, 100% it looked like Kiara was at her top end on that second, for sure. It was that was a fight. Yeah, and you can fight for your attempts. And I've seen you fight before, and that was a fight. And you locked that out, dropped to your knees, let out a huge cry, like a war cry, and like stormed off. And I was like, holy shit. And I'm thinking, all right, but that's got to be the top end. And I'm thinking that's the top end. You come out, you hit your third, and I'm like, Elba probably won this. And I'm thinking this. And then I saw you walk out on the platform. And I'm like, what the? And you came out like, you come out like this. This is like, I'm not a good impersonator, but you do this every time. You come out like, and you come out like, you do that every time. Yeah, that's what you do. Every time you come out for the third, and you're like so fierce. I'm like, holy shit, she might do this. Like all of a sudden you start believing again. You're like, you see miracles sometimes happen. I've counted people out, and then they come back. I'm like, oh my God. If I was Sweden too, I would also be like, oh shit. Okay, hang on a second. Phenomenal battle, ladies. I mean, right down to the very last deadlift. You're forced to take your last deadlift. You come out and challenge, and it was phenomenal battles all the way through. So what is next for you, ladies, and some of the goals you have for the future? First off, you're staying 63?
Yeah.
Okay. You're staying 63?
Yeah.
I only ask because freaking so many people are moving.
No.
All the time, people move.
Surely no.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you just won, so it'd be crazy. But like Sarah just won 57s, talking about maybe moving down. There's a lot of movement these days, so you never know. But I kind of
she's talking about moving down more.
52.
What?
52. Not immediately. Not immediately. She wants to get a little bit of work done at 57, Sheffield, but on the next go around, either Worlds or Sheffield, she cuts down. She's got to decide.
For me, she can do it.
Yeah, I mean,
I know her. She can do it.
Yeah, and she said she actually walks around under 57. She doesn't water cut, gut cut, or any of that kind of stuff. Her body weight is actually under 57. Italy or Italia, it's Italia, right?
Yeah.
Why do we say Italy? Isn't that crazy? We changed the name of your country on you. I'm going to start saying Italia.
Italia.
I'm starting to start saying Italia, but it's like my whole life I say Italy. So Italia, 47s, fourth place, Annalisa, 57s, world champion, 63s, you get in silver, 69s, hasn't happened yet, but obviously Corolla's in the mix somewhere. On the women's side, you guys are doing so phenomenally well. I am, first off, so happy. At one point, the three of you being 63s was crazy. Like, what do you guys had to move? You ended up getting to stay, which is good for you. But the fact that it's so good for a nation, A, it collects team points. So at the end, when Italia is like up on the nation's points, it's good. And also good that if there's Italians watching, and they tune into the World Championships, it means something that 4 days in a row, or no, there's 1 day in between, but 4 days they tune in, there's an Italian in the mix. Annalisa finished off podium, but she was in the mix for a podium. You obviously, like Sarah winning, Gara about to go, it means something to tune in and see somebody from your country fighting for a medal, fighting for a world championship, pulling and being like, oh my, it's exciting. And then if it's every like half of the days you tune in, it's a good thing. So I'm glad you guys split up and did it that way. You guys never had a conversation about this though, right? It just kind of happened.
Between us?
Yeah.
Yes, we talk about it sometimes.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I would hope so. Because if I was the Italian coach, I'd be like, you guys got to figure something out. You guys need to move around or whatever. I know Sarah said at one point she went to 69 and she was like, that wasn't it. So then obviously dropped down to 57. Okay. This is the porridge that's right for me.
The right class.
Yeah, exactly. So next for you, sorry, is World Games?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the expectations there? Just come in. I know you just competed, but
I want to add some kilos to the world record of Alba, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's the goal. You got to keep trying to take the number one spot. And you're hopeful, possibly. I haven't crunched any numbers or paying attention, but obviously Sheffield looms. Sheffield's for you. It's in the books. Who would you like to take if you had a wild card? Who would you like to see at Sheffield?
All the 63s.
I
want Megan.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because I feel like, of course, I'm already expecting Chira to be there. But I felt like it would feel wrong if Meg wasn't there too. Because it would just feel wrong. Because she had a bad day now, but I do feel like, okay, this was a bad day for her. But, she's beat us the other times. Mm-hmm. So I would like all the 63s. She
probably earned it. I mean, no, she definitely earned it. Yeah. Fair enough. And I think the world will like to see it. And let me also say, I remember when Leah Bavois, Gara first moved up to 69 kilo class. It felt like a bit of a shadow still looming over the 63s because the star power of like Leah's a huge following, a huge total. Gara, champion in equipment, out of equipment, World Games, multiple weight classes, yada, yada. So there's like a shadow looming when two huge icons of powerlifting leave the weight class. And now I think, honestly, this world's like Megan, and Megan helps too. Yeah. With you ladies, nobody feels that way anymore. Nobody's,
we've evolved.
You guys have evolved at exactly the right. And it couldn't just be Megan. She needed you guys to do what you did yesterday to make it like this. So it's competitive. And like now, I mean, I don't know who you flip a coin any given day, anybody can win. You need that. If it's like someone's the far and away favorite, it's like Austin Perkins, unfortunately.
I did tell you when we talked at the Junior Worlds, I think 63s are going to be the new 93s of the women's. Yeah. And I think now it is.
That was 2022, wasn't it?
No, it was
this Junior Worlds.
Worlds.
Okay. Yeah. I thought when we're in Istanbul, Turkey. Okay.
No. At that time, I didn't think so. But last year, I did believe that.
Well, here we are. Good prediction, 100%. And I'm excited for the future, ladies. Good luck with training and everything. And thank you for coming on the podcast. I mean, I know it's not easy when you just competed. I'm not sleeping well due to all the excitement and how much coffee I'm drinking to keep my energy levels up. I can only imagine how you guys feel. So I appreciate you guys coming here live and doing these. Your English is phenomenal. You don't got to worry about it. Yeah. You got to do more of these podcasts. Yeah, you are fine. Anyways, thank you very much for coming on. I'll give you a fist bump because I know I'm sneezing into my hand here. And for everybody listening, please do come back for more. We have at 2 o'clock, the 83s, that's 2 o'clock local German time. So navigate that wherever you are in the world. But thank you for tuning in. As per usual, please do give us high ratings, likes, and subscribe. And until next time, Six Pack Lapadat. 6 up.